Hello, it's Helen and Harley here. How are you? I'm Helen. This is Harley. This is my little rat bag of a puppy that has been with me since we first got him, and he was very small, not so small anymore. So we are here, well, I'm here, he's just my company, here to talk to you about Facebook stories. Do you know what they're all about? Do you know how to use Facebook stories? Do you know how to get the most out of Facebook stories? Do you know even how they're meant to be used? So this is what I'm going to share with you today. So Harley here is on his final live appearance with me. This is his last week going live with me because, as you can probably tell if you've watched my lives the last few weeks, is that he's getting totally uncontrollable. He's getting too big. He's not the puppy he once was. And so this is Harley's final week with me. So you'll be saying goodbye to Harley this week. He'll make special appearances every now and again. But I'm here to talk to you today about Facebook stories. So this is a pretty cool feature that if you're not on top of on social media, you need to learn all about it, because this is a really cool thing to use and get exposure for yourself through social media. Hello, Julie. How are you? Julie's saying hello. He's getting a hell of a lot heavier now too. So this is our online crew here. If you're here on this page, please use the palm tree emoji. That's the emoji that we've adopted for this page. So we're a community of home-based business owners building our business online, learning how to leverage social media to build our businesses the modern way. No more spam, no more traditional, spammy techniques with building your business. It's really learning how to leverage social media the smart way, so you can build your business the right way rather than the wrong way. There's a lot of people using social media the wrong way, and we definitely don't want to do that. We don't want to push our business on anybody. We want to attract people to us by using attraction marketing strategies, and leveraging social media the right way. Hello, Heather. How are you? Great to see you on live today. So if you've not joined me live before, I do help home-based business owners bring their business online. So we talk about things like social media strategies, branding, how do you brand yourself online, how do you get leads online, how do you use video marketing, YouTube and Facebook Lives to get yourself exposure. So one of the things, thanks for the palm trees, Heather, one of the things that we can use now is, and people are embracing it, but they're not really embracing it as much as they could be at the moment with Facebook stories. So it's a little feature that you may have seen popped up through your Facebook app. It's not available on desktop. It's only available, through the app on your mobile phone. Harley, you're in a very awkward position today. Hope you're well, Rob. Rob's on. Say hello to Rob. Whoa, there you go, Rob. So Facebook Stories has actually been around since March 2017, believe it or not. So, well over a year, but people are only really starting to, embrace it now. So what's important for you to know, if you're building your business online, how do you really use this to your advantage? And there's a lot of people that are trying to use Facebook Stories, but they're not really using it in the manner in which it was intended. So that's what I want to clear up for you today and give you some tips as how to sort of use it and leverage it to your advantage in relation to building your profile and building your brand, through social media. So one of the important things to sort of take note of is that Facebook have got, a big push to take over Snapchat. And that's why Facebook stories, exist. So anything that they're sort of really striving for to take over, they're going to give preference to in relation to the algorithm and how you're using Facebook. So if you embrace Facebook stories and start to use them, you're going to get good exposure because Facebook wants you to use Facebook stories. They will give preference to content on Facebook stories because they want to take over Snapchat. They want to make an impact. So when they do something like that, that's where you need to be to get additional exposure and get the algorithm working for you. Now, yesterday's Facebook Live, I spoke about 9 Facebook hacks to make sure, the algorithm's working, in your favor. And Facebook Stories is one of those 9 hacks that I spoke about yesterday. But I did say yesterday that I was going to talk more about more in detail about it, because you do want to be doing things online through social media that have the algorithm working in your favor, and Facebook Stories is one of those. Now, the purpose of Facebook Stories is that it's micro content. So do you understand what that means? It means short, micro, visual content. So it's coming from pictures and videos mainly, and it's short content. So I'll just give you a really early tip. One of the things that you shouldn't be really using Facebook Stories for, although you've got the ability to do, is sharing a long Facebook Live, like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour through Facebook Stories. That's not what Facebook Stories is meant for. Facebook Stories is meant for micro, short, visual and video content. But if you think of Snapchat, how fast is it? It's fast. Do you agree with me that Snapchat, anything sort of being developed through or created through Snapchat is fast? Now that's what Facebook Stories is meant to be for. Fast, short, micro content that's visual. It's also like a second news feed. So what goes through Facebook Stories does not have to go through your news feed on Facebook, nor should it. Now, why I say that is because if you're posting the exact same content in your Facebook news feed as you are posting on your Facebook Stories, it gets boring. People go, I've seen that before. And on Facebook Stories, yes, Rob, short, short, sweet, and right to the point. With the algorithm, people can swipe past you, if you like, on Facebook Stories. So something comes up, you've posted the exact same content on your Facebook Stories that you've posted in your newsfeed, and people go, oh, I've already seen that. So they swipe past your content. Now that's just as damaging for you in the algorithm, because people are swiping past your content. Facebook's tracking that. So they're sort of showing in Facebook Stories, oh, well, people are not interested in Helen's content because they're just swiping through it because they've already seen it before. So I would encourage you, with the use of Facebook Stories, have content that you only post to Facebook Stories that you don't post in your newsfeed. It's different, it's intriguing, and what I do every now and again is do a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. You can get away with a lot more in Facebook Stories that you can in your newsfeed because it can only be viewed twice and it's gone in 24 hours. So it's the same in Snapchat in that it doesn't stay there forever. It's gone in 24 hours. So you can post things that you wouldn't ordinarily post on your timeline and don't want it there forever, that it's gone in 24 hours. So you can be a little bit braver. You can be a little bit sillier. I'm definitely sillier on Facebook Stories than there's things that I put in Facebook Stories that I would never put in my newsfeed. So there was one yesterday that I put up, hey Crystal, lovely to see you on live. Once you access, so let's just talk about access to Facebook Stories. So there's 2 ways that you can access it. I don't know whether you noticed, but I know you'd be putting palm trees down if you could access the emoji, Crystal, but thank you for writing it. That's cool. Rob, you can get away with a little bit more. Yeah, you can. So you can access your Facebook Stories. Hey, Tina, how are you? Lovely to see you on live. You can access it through your normal Facebook newsfeed. So you open up your Facebook app, and then it's sitting up there in the top sort of quarter of your newsfeed. And I don't know whether you noticed, but it's twice the size that it used to be. So about 4 weeks ago, I reckon, it suddenly appeared twice the size than it was, for the last over a year. Okay, you might not have even noticed the little circle sitting up the top when it came up. Hey Patricia, how are you? Great to see you. When it first came out, because it was a little circle sort of up the top. Then they made a little bit of a thumbnail to it at the top of your feed. Now it takes up almost, it'd be less than a quarter but it's up there in the top of your feed, and there's a little plus sign on your profile pic that says add to your story. So that's where you can access it. Or if you go into your Messenger, it's sitting up the top. It's still quite small in Messenger, but it'll also say, something like add to your story. So you can access it either through your Facebook app on your phone. It's already sitting there. You just press the plus button, or you can go through Messenger and it'll be up the top left-hand corner. And you can add to your story there. Now, if you do it through Messenger, there's a whole lot of cool, it's like Snapchat. There's all these filters, silly filters that you can put on. Take a photo, add some text. It's all right there for you to add some silly things to your photo and post it to your story. So, Harley. Oh, that drew blood. Oh, can you see that, guys? Harley, I know that was an accident. There's very good reason why this is your last week, buddy. I don't even have a tissue. And that's, okay. This is interesting. Yeah, ouch. It was an accident. He just put his head back, but I'm bleeding and I don't have a tissue, and that's going to get worse. So, hang out for a minute, guys, and watch the view. I'm just going to go and get a tissue. Oh, sorry. He got me good there. Just bear with me. I will be back. I'm fine. I need a helmet. I do. So maybe this is signifying why it's Harley's last week on live with me. Can you believe this? I'm just literally going over there to grab a tissue and I'll be back. So just hang out amongst yourselves. Say hello to each other for a second. I will be back. Good one, Harley. Thanks very much. Sorry, guys, coming. That's what you call real and authentic. When your dog actually scratches you live on camera, you've got no tissues. So, buddy, you are going to stay on the floor with my scarf that catches all the hair. And I'm going to... Oh, didn't you catch the... Harley put his head up and one of his... I think it was one of his teeth got my chin, and he's just drawn blood there. So he's on the floor with that scarf that I'm wearing is for a couple of reasons: to get rid of the dog hair that goes all over my clothes because he's molting really badly, and to stop him chewing. So he's not coming back, guys. So just stay there, Harley, and don't chew any cords that you shouldn't. But yeah, if you've just joined, Harley's drawn blood on me today. Not in a vicious way. He accidentally put his head up, and I had blood sort of going everywhere. So hopefully I've stopped bleeding. And we'll get back to talking about Facebook stories. So sorry about that, guys. There's nothing more real and authentic than your dog scratching your chin and you bleeding on a screen. So we'll leave him down there, and I'll carry on with the reason why we're here to talk about Facebook stories. I've got no idea where I was at, so let me just try to recap. So just quickly, so Facebook stories is what the algorithm is going to favor. So if you're not using Facebook stories, I would highly encourage you to do that. But in relation to the algorithm, thanks Crystal for your comment. So what entertainment am I going to bring you if he isn't on live with me? You're going to miss all this action. You're going to miss him scratching me and drawing blood. You know, maybe I just need to keep him on to keep you guys entertained. It's not very often you see someone get scratched on screen and bleeding and then they run away and get a tissue. And if you've missed all that, guys, go and watch the replay. It's very entertaining. But so Facebook stories, let's get back on track. So I would encourage you to use them if you're not, but I would also encourage you to put different content on Facebook stories than you're putting in your news feed. So you can post, what a lot of people are doing is they'll put something, they'll take a photo or something, and then it asks you, do you, hey Helen, I'm at work, I'll check this out later. Yeah, go and watch the replay, Steph. Harley's scratched me, I've been bleeding, it's been very entertaining. So catch the replay, Stephanie. Now I've got to stop watching comments. Now I'm just losing my track. But you do want different content on your Facebook stories than your news feed. Very entertaining live today. Because as far as the algorithm goes, people will, if you're putting exactly the same content all the time. So what I was saying is it asks you where you want to post it. You want to post it in your stories and on your news feed. And most people will tick both. So then whatever content it is that you've created, you're putting in your news feed as well as Facebook stories. So what happens when somebody goes to Facebook stories, if they've already seen it in your news feed, then they're going, I've already seen that, and they'll just swipe past it to the next story that's going to come up. Now, as far as Facebook algorithm goes, you don't want people swiping past your Facebook stories, because that's then showing to sort of Facebook, oh, well, they're not engaging with Helen's content on Facebook stories. They're just swiping past. So then it's not going to favor your content on Facebook stories, but that's where Facebook is concentrating. So you want to be where Facebook is concentrating, and it's got a huge push to take over Snapchat. So you want to be using Facebook stories, but there's two things you don't want to be doing. You can do content on both, at various times. Just don't do it 100% of the time, because your friends, people that are watching your content, they will get to know everything she posts on her newsfeed is in her story anyway. So when they get to the story, they're swiping past you. Don't get people to swipe past you. The whole purpose of Facebook stories is that it's micro content. That's visual. They're favoring photos and video over written status posts. This is the way of the future of social media, guys. This is an awesome way for you to get eyeballs on you, what you're up to, what you're doing. Think about Gary Vee and his content on social media. Oh, now we're chewing the cord. Go over there if you're going to chew the cord. I don't really care what you're chewing on at the moment, as long as it's not electrical. So you think of, do you know who Gary Vee is? So just put the word yes down below if you know who Gary Vee is. Gary Vaynerchuk. So Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's extreme, guys. Like, I would never be able to do what he does. He's got a camera crew following him, pretty much 24/7. He is an awesome guy, and he's got awesome content. Some people don't like him because of his swearing and he's in your face and that kind of stuff. But he's really, really clever at what he does, and he knows sort of social media. But it's all about short, snappy, viral video content. And people love it. People love this stuff. So what you want to put in Facebook stories is stuff that you wouldn't ordinarily show in your newsfeed. And as I said before, you can get away with stuff on Facebook stories because it disappears in 24 hours and it just engages people for like seconds. People can only view your content like 2 times and then it's gone within, 24 hours. Man, the light's just about to fall over. Harley's on the floor moving around. Better than getting scratched again. Oh, I'm still bleeding a little bit. All good, all good. So the way of social media in the future, you can give yourself exposure and you can grow a brand through short, micro, photo, video content. So I've got some tips for you to how to use this content on Facebook stories. But I do want you to be aware that it's very much like Snapchat, that Facebook's intention is to take over Snapchat with Facebook stories. So what you don't want to be doing on Facebook stories is, like, if I do a Facebook Live that's 15, 20 minutes, half an hour long, I'm not going to post that to my story because that's not the intention of Facebook stories. It's not going to work with the algorithm because it's not the intention of Facebook stories. People get bored because that's not what Facebook stories are for. They're going to swipe past you. Therefore, the algorithm's going, people don't like Helen's content on Facebook stories, so we're not going to give her much exposure. Okay? Yvonne, hello Helen. I will have to come back and watch the replay off to work. Have a great time at work, Yvonne. Nice to see you on briefly on live. So it's a really, really cool platform to be using, Facebook Stories, but word of caution there, it's not meant for long content. It's meant for short, sharp, shiny, micro content. Here we go. We're walking across cords. This is why I hold him. I'm not holding him anymore because he scratched me. I just got to make sure he's not chewing anything. No, he's distracted with something he can chew that's not going to cut me off. So sorry about this, guys. So you want it to be short, punchy content, and like, what did I post yesterday? Oh, I did it through Messenger, which gives you a whole lot of apps and a lot of filters that you can play around with. And I think I just said just playing around in my text. So you can take it, use a filter, put some text on it straight away, put other stuff on it, make it look really cool. It's quick, sharp, micro content. And I would never post that on my newsfeed. I've got this hat on and I'm looking really stupid and the filter put lipstick on me and all the rest of it. But I posted it to my story because it's just quick content that it just, you know, if you've looked at Facebook stories, the content moves quite fast. So people are just absorbing it, you know, for a matter of seconds and then it's gone. So you can get away with stuff, but it's interesting and it's different to people. So it's a really good way for you to get people intrigued about what you're up to, do behind the scenes kind of stuff, but just remember it's sort of short, you know, micro sort of content. But this is about telling story through visual video, you know, content, which is intriguing to people. People love reality TV for a reason. People will absorb visual video content before they absorb words. So use it to your advantage. You know, and if you get used to using it regularly and you can have story after story after story after story, then it's flicking through. The less time people are on your content on Facebook stories, actually better. Like it's moving fast. So that's the purpose of it. So what are the tips to use it? I would encourage you, instead of just taking a photo and posting it to Facebook stories, press on the button to turn it into video and just video what you would normally take a photograph of. Okay? Does that make sense? If you're following me, send me some likes and loves. So you're at the beach. You can take a photo and post it to Facebook stories, yes. But just press it down so it starts videoing and just do it like for seconds. Just a couple of seconds. So there's a little bit of movement. Then post it to your stories. That's so much more interesting for somebody to absorb than just looking at a static photo for, you know, maybe up to 15 seconds. It's like, okay, there's a photo of the ocean. And then they're waiting, because you can't speed it up. You've got to wait for it to go through the story. What are you doing now? Oh, that's okay. You can chew on that. So if you've got a little bit of movement, it still might be the same outlook. So it still might just be of the beach or a selfie of you or something. But instead of taking just a static selfie of you, just push the record button and just do it for a couple of seconds. That's it. But it's just a little bit of movement to get people engaged in your content rather than just looking at a static photo. So there's, you know, a tip for you. Oh no, he's got the rubber ducky. That's okay. So don't do short content. Don't post your Facebook Lives into the stories section. It'll end up people swiping past you and then the algorithm's working against you. So when you think of Facebook stories, think of like Snapchat, fast, intriguing, funny, quirky. You can put words on it so easily. You take, you know, like I take little videos and then I just push on the little, you know, text, the icon for the letters, write a couple of words, post it to my stories, but I'm not posting it to my news feed. So it's different content up there than there, so people are not going to swipe past it. And they're like, what's Helen up to? Okay, so that's the way it should be used. So use the tools that are there in front of you. You can add text, you can add graphics, you can do it through Messenger, add a filter. Just do silly stuff. People love silly stuff. That's the purpose of Facebook stories. Anything can get more eyeballs on you and your content and can help you build your brand as a person. Harley's chewing cords now. Harley, mate, can you get out of there? Because one, you're going to chew cords, and two, my whole setup here is going to go over. Whoa, there, see, there we go. Once again, this is why this is hard last week on With Me Live. Oh, what did I do? Need to turn it back. Accidentally turned the camera around. All good. So I'm finishing off, guys. It's getting a little bit uncontrollable here. Now you've got me a little bit sideways. Look, the window's even dirty. I've got bird poo on the windows. Not to worry. It's real Harley, isn't it? Okay, so finishing off. The one thing with Facebook stories... Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, let's see if we can get through the last couple of minutes. Okay. Last couple of things, guys, and the huge glare in the background now that the whole setting's been moved. So just bear with me for the last couple of minutes, guys. If you want to save, so like Snapchat, once the content's gone, it's gone. But Facebook stories, it does give you the ability that every time you post to Facebook story, you should see what's happening underneath me. Every time you post to Facebook stories, it automatically saves it in your camera roll. So I do that because I want to keep the content. So by keeping the content and saving it in my camera roll, I can use it for other purposes. So you may have noticed that I come up with little micro videos. Like, you know, they're only about a sort of minute along, but I've got in those videos, I've got music and I've got a whole lot of different photos. And some of those have been posted to my Facebook stories, which people haven't seen yet. Because not many people are using Facebook stories yet or absorbing the content. So if you want to repurpose something that you posted to Facebook stories, then you want to be able to save it rather than it go. So here's a tip for you, a technical tip. When you open up the Facebook app and you go into Facebook stories, so you're looking at the camera. So you're about to take a camera. There'll be next to the little arrow on the top right-hand side, it'll be that kind of the gear symbol. Press on that and it'll open up some options for you, sort of like some settings. Up the top, it will ask you, do you want to automatically save the stuff that you're posting to stories? So tick that. So when you tick that in the settings in Facebook stories, then everything you post to your stories is going to be saved in your camera roll. So you get to keep the photos and the videos that you might only be putting there and not in your newsfeed. So you want to do that because you might want to repurpose or go back to that content. Maybe you took a really cool photograph that you only posted to your story and not your newsfeed. If you don't have that on, like if you don't save it, it gives you the option to save as well. But if you automatically save, then you're not going to forget about it and it's going to stay in your camera roll for future use. There goes the cord again. The other thing is when you've opened up that gear icon and you're looking at the settings, it'll give you an option of who you want your Facebook stories content to go to. So that can just be friends. It can be, you can choose individual people that you want your Facebook story to go to, or you can set it to public. I'd highly recommend, unless you're going to have really personal stuff that you're going to have on Facebook stories, the intention of Facebook stories is that, you know, it's fast, micro, fun content. So I've got mine set to public so that anybody, you know, can see what I'm posting on my Facebook stories. And I would highly encourage you, if you're trying to build a brand on social media, a profile on social media and get some more exposure for yourself, have that setting set to public. So you can do that in the same place. If you've got I've got an iPhone, but if you've got, I think like a Samsung, a Galaxy, there's another option that you can see that I can't see, which enables you to put a little shortcut on the you know, this is my old phone, on your screen. What do you call that? So you can get to it really quickly. So if you're in the moment and you capture something and you think, oh, there's a really cool photo, there's a really cool video, I should put that to Facebook stories, then you're not trying to get into the Facebook app and then now on an iPhone you don't have a choice. Well, on my iPhone anyway, actually I'll retract that. There are versions of iPhones that you can see that. I've got an 8 and I don't have it on my phone. Obviously I'm on my phone, that was an old phone. But there should be an option up there when you press that gear symbol. When you're in Facebook stories, you have to be, so click into Facebook stories, click the little sort of gear icon and these options will come up for you to work through. So save your content, set it to public so people can see it. You're building a brand. So you want to do that. And then if you've got different versions of iPhones, it'll be there or not. Samsung Galaxy, it'll be there. It actually gives you the option to create a shortcut on your phone so you can get there really quickly and post it to stories really quickly. I don't have that ability on my phone, but some phones do. So I would recommend that you do that. Crystal, this is awesome. Very valuable info, Helen, as always. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback, Crystal. I appreciate that. So it is a really cool feature for you to use, get used to. And while Facebook is on a massive push to overtake Snapchat and you're trying to build your business on social media and make an impact and build your brand, I would highly recommend you embrace Facebook stories. Play around with it, guys. The best way you can utilize newish features on social media is to play around with it. Get used to it. Look at the different tools. I can do text, I can do filters, I can do this, I can do that. Start playing around with it so you get really good at it. So in that moment where something's really cool's happening and you can share it in your life, you're just on it and it's on Facebook stories. So I hope that's given you some really, really good tips on how to use and embrace Facebook stories and some of the little, warnings of perhaps what not to do with Facebook stories because, hi Sabine, thanks for the palm trees. Good to see you on live and I'm just about to jump off. You've missed a show today. Harley scratched me. I was bleeding. I had to run away and get a tissue. It's all happened on this Facebook Live. But, it's a great topic for Facebook stories. So I'd encourage you to, embrace Facebook stories, but learn how to use it properly. Go through those settings that I said. Keep it short, micro content. Create little video content rather than just a static photo. Those kind of things that I've already mentioned. I won't repeat myself. Oh, now you want to come and play. So let's just say goodbye to Harley. Come here for a second. I haven't got my scarf on, so I'm going to get dog hair all over me. Make the most of it, buddy, because this is your final week on live and you're making it a good one. You scratched me. You made me bleed. Very entertaining for our viewers here. But I hope you got good value. Nah, you're going down. I hope you got really good value out of that. If you did, just put the word value down below for me. Let me know if this is useful to you. If this is the kind of content, up and coming social media, although Facebook stories has been there for over a year, it's just learning to embrace these new things and use them to your advantage, particularly getting the Facebook algorithm working for you and not against you. Looking for the replay then. It's been different, Sabine. And happy birthday, by the way. I hope you had a good one. So thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for putting up with the shenanigans today. The blood, the tissue, the leaving you on my own Facebook Live. It's just raw and real, and this is how we roll. The Helen and Harley show is no longer to be as of next week, but we're making it impactful for our last week. So I will see you guys same time tomorrow for more awesome information on how to build your business online and leveraging social media. So I'll catch you then, guys. Thank you for being with me. I'll see you then. Bye. Oh.